Hello there. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever you're doing, but joining us for VIP Boxing Bell to Bell, episode 119. You might be watching us on YouTube, listening on iTunes or Spotify. Leave us a nice review, a bad review. Just say whatever you want, but leave something anyway. I'm Steve Lillis. With me, as always, up in the top left-hand corner, I think it looks. Turns out I don't know how these turn around, these screens. John Evans, you okay, John?
Yeah, I'm good, Steve. Good to see you. You've made it back. Some of us have been working hard while you've been off there in Las Vegas.
Mate, I was doing a couple hours a day out there, and the old guest tonight have vouched for that. Anyway, a special guest. Well, one thing he is for sure is if he isn't, he's certainly not one of the richest men in British boxing. He's far from that. But what he is, he's one of the hardest working. He's a promoter, trainer, manager. He's got a show on Friday that's like, see that hairline is getting further and further back as the hours count down to his show in Leicester on Friday. It's Carl Greaves. He also has 39 or 40 fights and 2 challenges to the British super featherweight title. Was it, Carl?
Yeah, that's correct. To Gomez and Arthur.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for joining us. I know you've had a mad day, and it's good of you. How are you, Carl, anyway?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Steve. I'm not too bad. Plodding on. Plodding on.
That's all you can do, mate. All you can do.
Hey, you know what you were just saying, Ben, about not being one of the richest people? It's something I say to a couple of the young lads in my gym. And maybe Carl should probably never do it. Have you ever worked out your hourly wage from boxing, Carl?
I haven't, mate, no. I put some hours in, though. I tell you, I put some hours in. Definitely, especially in the gym as well.
Must be frightening. If you sat down and worked it out, it'd be frightening, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, mate. It would.
Yeah, so what have you literally just finished? I spoke to you first about 8:30 this morning, and you've literally just finished.
Yeah, I finished the class. I went in tonight at 5 o'clock, trained the pros, and then I did a class 7 o'clock until 7:15 till 8:15. Walked in the door at Harper State, got my tea down me, and I've joined you boys.
All right, okay. Well, we'll get on. We won't keep. We'll be as quick as we can. So I know you want to get a bit of relaxation tonight. You know how this works. 3 minutes each topic. John rings that bell, and we're going to have John kicking us off this week. If you're ready, John.
Yeah, ready when you are.
And the big fight this weekend, John, Taylor Lopez.
Taylor Lopez, yeah. I can't wait for it, you know. And there's something about fights like this where it's just clashes of total opposite people and total opposite styles and personalities that just attracts me in. You know, Taylor and Lopez, they couldn't be any more different, could they? Totally different outlooks on life, totally different ways of going about things. They're going to clash all week when they're in the same room together. It's going to build up and build up. And then when they get in the ring, I don't think the styles can fail to create a good fight. Taylor's going to be Taylor. He's going to be relentless. I tend to believe him when I think he underperformed against Catterall, although I think Jack's vastly underrated and won that fight by a mile. I tend to believe Josh when he says he underestimated a little bit and he had an off night. Lopez, you never know what you're going to get, do you? You know, he can switch someone off in the blink of an eye, or he can be completely cold and off it. But I just think it's going to be a hit, this fight. I can't wait for it. I don't know what's going to happen. I would favour Taylor to break him down, break his heart and wear him out. But it wouldn't surprise me if Lopez landed something big. So, yeah, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I think my only concern with Taylor is the weight. He's a big, big kid for the weight, and how he makes 10 stone, I'll never know. He's going to catch up with him sooner or later. I mean, last time against Catterall, he had a bad night. He worked hard, but I just think he had a bad night, and Catterall definitely won that fight, no doubt about it. But that's my only concern with Taylor. He's a great fighter, but I just think keep making 10 stone. He's going to be one fight too many soon, and could possibly be this one with Lopez's style. He's relentless again, but I mean, it's a good fight. It's a very good fight. You've got to favour Taylor, but it's definitely a great fight.
I love Josh Taylor. He's nasty. He wants to hurt people. To me, he's my type of fighter, and I really like him as a guy. And I think I spent some time with him one day once, taking him to a press conference in Scotland. And when he says he wants to cause damage to people, he means it, mate. He's nasty. I think Taylor's going to be spurred out. The weight is an issue, but I think Taylor's going to be spurred on by the criticism he got in the Catchwell fight. And I think he's going to want to show he is the daddy at 140 pounds, even if he moves up after this. I'm really confident in Taylor for this fight. I think he'll wear him down. I think he'll force Lopez to fight 3 minutes around. Have we often seen that, fellas? You know, and that's how I think is the key to his victory. And I'm really confident he'll win in about 10 rounds. And I think the nastiness in the build-up this week will encourage him even more to go in there with spite and hate on his mind.
Yeah, when he fought Ramirez, it was nasty, and he was brilliant, Taylor, that night, wasn't he?
Yeah, very good.
Time.
Round 2, over to you, Carl. The cost of foreign boxers as a promoter.
It's just getting stupid now, Steve, as you know. I mean, the one in the same price as an English fighter, if not more. And then plus you've got your hotels, your food, your foreign boxers fee, your flights, your transfers. It's just getting absolutely stupid now. And I really feel sorry for these prospects that's coming through. They try to build them on your own shows, because when you're on ticket deals, if you stick to the 50-50 split after paying the opponent, then they're hardly left with anything. I mean, I'm trying to look after them the best I can, but if my shows aren't doing very well, I can't really do a lot about it. I have to stick to the deal. But if they're doing well with shows, I will look after them give them a better deal than that if they're having to bring a foreigner in. But I just think now it's getting really, really hard for small hall boxing. We're all struggling. I mean, my last 2 shows have lost money. I'm going to lose money on Friday. And I used to do really well on my shows, I'll be honest with you, but it's getting harder and harder, and it's because of the cost of things is going up. And I don't know how it's all going to pan out, but at the moment, I'm starting to have second thoughts. It's getting me down a little bit, because I want to build these kids, but I can't keep risking my own money. I'm a working class man. I work hard. Boxing's my living. You know what I mean? So I've got to have reevaluate things and just see where I'm going to go. But I mean, I've got a show next week in Grimsby, and that's doing really well. The tickets are flying out. But, I mean, I know you take the rough with the smooth, but, I mean, the cost of these opponents now, it's getting really hard.
What do you think is Carl, do you think, you know, is there a big problem that, you know, promoters aren't sticking to what they might, you know, what guidelines should be for a 4-rounder, a 6-rounder as well?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us are. I mean, you've got the general boxing, you know what I mean, the proper boxing people in the game that are sticking to the usual, like 12, 1,300 quid for a 4, like 18, 19 for a 6, 2-4 for an 8. But there's some that's being really greedy now, and I find it's the ones that don't promote. A lot of the managers that don't promote are wanting a lot of money, a lot more money, because they don't know how hard it is promoting. You find that the managers that promote as well understand the game more, and they will work with you. But these managers that don't promote, they're just asking for stupid money now, and these agents who's bringing the foreigners in know they can get it, so they're going to just put a price on it. And if you're desperate, you're going to have to accept it, and this is what's happening.
Yeah. Sometimes, Carl, as well, is it like you literally don't know what you're going to get? We're getting more and more opponents who've never been over. You're paying top dollar, and then all of a sudden they get in the ring, and you're getting nothing for your money. Are you finding that more and more often now?
Yeah, you get some that's not very good at all. I mean, but the board are really clamping down now. It's so hard getting a foreigner in now with a crap record. You just can't do it. I mean, even if your kid's only had a couple of fights and he's still not ready to step up, the board are knocking a lot of them back, which you can understand it, because, I mean, you're not getting value for money, and they know that these aren't up to scratch. But you're getting the odd one coming in now that's causing the odd upset as well, which is good. But you have to take the risk now, because, like I say, it's getting harder and harder, the matching, and they're asking for stupid money as well.
Round 3. I know this will be one of your topics, John. Oscar De La Hoya. I just think someone needs to get a grip of the fella. You know, I'm not going to go, and people are saying all sorts about how he might be living, but you can't, having this open warfare with Ryan Garcia, telling Eddie Hearn to get in his lane. Twitter isn't the place to do it. That sort of behaviour alienated Canelo, and you wonder where you know, with these sort of antics. I mean, the guy, he might have a contract with Garcia, but you can't see that relationship lasting. And you wonder now where it's going to go for Golden Boy Promotions. They lost a very, very good boxing man recently in Robert Diaz. Eric Gomez, who's still there, who's someone who's very, very loyal to Oscar De La Hoya. I think they've been close friends since they was kids. But the stuff with Ryan Garcia, Twitter is not the place to starting a ruck with your stable star. I just think it's madness, and someone needs to get a hold of him. He's almost like he's out of control sometimes. At the moment, he is. And I did laugh at telling Eddie Hearn to get in his lane. He obviously feels that Eddie's trying to take another Golden Boy fighter in Garcia, which if he did would be a killer possibly for that promotional group. John.
Yeah, his head's gone completely, hasn't it? Oscar used to be so poised, didn't he? He was the perfect professional. He knew exactly how to work the media. He had a smile for everyone, always said the right thing. Since he hung his gloves up and he's had a position of more responsibility, he's gone the complete opposite way, hasn't he? Absolutely mad. Can you imagine
you become bitter in boxing, mate. You become bitter. When you're an ex-fighter and you see what's going on, you just become bitter, mate. And I think that's going to be me soon if I'm not careful.
What are you going to be doing, Carl? Slagging off Avanesian and stuff like that in public?
Oh, mate. No, I don't think I'll get to that stage, but I'm starting to get a little bit bitter now, mate. It's getting harder and harder, and I'm thinking, what am I doing?
I used to see, Floyd used to do it with Tank Davis and his people, didn't he? Used to keep him away from the big fight. I just wonder if some of it's jealousy, seeing how much these kids are earning these days for fighting half as often as De La Hoya and Floyd used to do in their peak. I just wonder if a little bit of it's jealousy and not wanting their protege to take some of their limelight and stuff. It's mad.
But he's just made mistakes, Oscar. I mean, it was madness not going to the press conference after the loss.
Yeah.
To Tank. That's where he should have been, congratulating Tank. We'll do this match down the line. Ryan gave it. You know what, Garcia, for all he can handle himself verbally. But when you've suffered a loss like that to your arch rival, you need a bit of love from those that have got you into that position. And he hasn't got any love from them. And you know what? For all we see how an extrovert Garcia is. Even he needs that arm around him and that bit of love from those like De La Hoya, but he's not getting it. I feel a bit for Garcia.
He's only still a kid, isn't he, Garcia? He's still a kid. You know what I mean?
Fine.
Right. Round 4. Over to you, John. Crawford and Spence. Whoa, what a fight.
God, since we started this, when the coronavirus was going, we were talking about this fight being overdue then. And finally, we've got Crawford and Spence. And I think we'll talk about the fight more as it comes, but I think everyone's just crossing their fingers and praying that it's not too late. Because we can't afford this fight to be a flop, can we? I think boxing needs... This is the biggest fight since Mayweather-Pacquiao, possibly. And I think boxing needs it to be big, doesn't it? It needs to be a good event, and we need a good fight and a good winner. I just hope they've not fucked about for so long that they've both gone over the peak and we get a shot version of one of them, or the weight's too much for Spence. Let's just cross our fingers, hope we can both do the weight well. We get good versions of both fellas, and if we do, I don't think it can fail to be a good fight. But let's just hope we've not left it too long.
Sorry,
you've got to remember that I was obviously against Crawford on his last fight, and obviously I was up close to him, and he's very, very special. He's very special. I mean, I think David Avanesian was in the fight, but you could just see with Crawford how special he is close up. Harry, you know what I mean? He's so cute and clever, and just makes you the skill set is unbelievable. I'm still very, very bitter about the glove situation. I think it was completely out of order what he did. I'm really hoping something comes of it, because I mean, I don't want to go into the ins and outs, but it was absolutely disgraceful what they did to them gloves. But take nothing away from him ability-wise. He's a star quality fighter, and you can just see the class, especially when you're up close to him, literally a few feet away. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, as I said, I think we've just got the fight in time, John. look, it might have been better a year ago, but they're still both got so much left to offer. And I think today, I think Crawford's going to win. But I bet it could be one of those fights. The more I will listen to interviews, watch footage and read about it, I'm going to change my mind several times. Even when we talk about it on here the couple of weeks before the fight, I could be on Spence next week. And that's what makes it such a great fight. I do fancy Crawford, been a bit more active. I just think this is the fight he's been waiting for. I fancy Crawford right now, but I could change. And that, as I say, that says what a great fight it is that you can change your mind.
I think I can remember, sorry, John, I can remember going to the Mayweather gym after we went to Vegas after David beat Mosley. We had a bit of a holiday in Vegas, had a bit of celebration, and we had a tour and had a walk into Mayweather's gym. And I can remember one of the coaches telling me, and never forget, that Spence is the only man that he's seen give Floyd Mayweather trouble. And this was years ago, 2016, he mentioned it. And he said he's the only man that gave Mayweather trouble. But he said, how the hell he makes the weight. He's a big kid against Spence. But it always stuck in my head what he said. He said he gave Mayweather all the trouble he could handle in sparring.
Yeah. Time.
Go on, Carl. You've had a long day. You always moan to me about this topic. Training camps that 4-rounders and 6-rounders boast about. You can do the whole 3 minutes if you want. And John, I'm going to have a drop of water. John can go and check his dog's okay and listen to you at the same time.
Yeah, I just think it's ludicrous when you're hearing all these kids who're doing 4 and 6 rounders against journeymen, having training camps and 8-week camps. And even like some of my fighters are like, I know things change in that, but like these journeymen are just basically, I know they're ticking over in that, but they're just turning up at a day's notice. Turning up with like a friend who's driving them down there and get someone to do the corner, or some of them's got coaches. And we have a little giggle about it because they're like, all these kids having training camps and after they've finished them, that's the wrap. That's a wrap now. You know what I mean? That's a wrap. And then like, getting in there and you think to yourself, you've sacrificed so much. You've probably gone on strict diets, got nutritionists, strength conditioners and all that for 4 and 6 rounders against journeymen. I just think it's just taking over their lives in that. I mean, surely these kids have got everything in their favour as it is. They're the ones signing the tickets. They're the ones picking the opponents. You just think they'll just keep themselves right, you know what I mean? Go in the gym 3 or 4 times a week, enjoy their lives as well. And surely that's enough to beat these journeymen, you know what I mean? You can't be going through what they do, like 6-8 week camps. And I mean, I'm having kids pulling off my show saying, I've got work on, I'm working away, I can't get to the gym. And I'm thinking, you're fighting someone who you should be able to get out of bed and beat, you know what I mean? So it's like, I just laugh. I love to laugh about it, really. But that's the way we are nowadays. And this is where the game's changing. You know what I mean? You can't just bring a kid up now and say, look, I've got you a fight in 2 or 3 weeks' time. I think you can beat this kid. Because it'll be like, oh, no, I need a camp. I need a camp for this fight. So, yeah, that's all I want to say on it, really.
You know what?
What do you think about the handshaking tours for 6 weeks as well after we've beaten these journeymen?
Unbelievable, mate.
I saw one the other day. It was Friday. He didn't say that's a wrap, but what a great camp I've had. He was fighting a 6-rounder Saturday. And he's a nice fella, so I'm not going to look. People take the piss. He's not a bad bloke, but it's just how they get this bit of delusion, even the nicest guys. And what a great camp I've had. He went and won his fight on point Saturday, 60-54, as he should. By 12 o'clock on Sunday, he's putting a picture at Ocean Beach Club Ibiza. Today, he's putting a bottle of he's putting a picture of a bottle of Ciroc vodka. I mean, I hope he sold a lot of fucking tickets Saturday because that money would be gone. I mean, that's what you're dealing with. But you know what? It's the social media age. I'm an old man. I'm 61 years of age. Maybe it's something I can't identify with as much. Final word from you, John, even if we overrun on this round.
Oh, no, yeah, you just said it all, haven't you? I think Carl will probably know because he probably gets a lot of these wannabes coming in my gym and stuff. I think a lot of people want to put professional boxer on the little Instagram profile, don't they?
Yeah.
Get a pose with a referee holding their arm up, and I think they're happy with that more than anything.
I can remember me. I mean, I was an home fighter. I was a big ticket seller. I can remember being in the gym one day, like John says, go and do your own thing for a bit. You'll not be fighting for a while. But I always used to train, always used to tick over. And I can remember being in a fitness gym, doing a bit of skipping and shadowboxing, and went downstairs after I'd finished a session and had a missed call from John Ashton, my manager. And he said, Carl, I've got this fight for you tomorrow night. I was like, what? And I was an home kid. He said, it's against JT Kelly in Sunderland. He said, I've seen this kid and I know you can beat him. I said, I ain't really 100%, John. I said, but I'll trust you. I listen to your word and that. And luckily, I was one of these that always ticked over, you know what I mean? I was about probably 4 or 5 pounds overweight at the time. Anyway, I went down there, 24 hours notice, and you wouldn't get kids doing that nowadays, would you? Not home kids. And I went down there, 24 hours notice, and it was right. I went and beat him. I dropped him in the 5th round and got the decision by a round. It was a close fight. He was an home kid. But that was a chance to talk. And I just think to myself, you'd never be able to get a kid to do that nowadays. You know what I mean? But that's how different things are.
Carl, and if he did, but say for Dead to be great.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But, I mean, it was a good win for me because I mean, JT Kelly, we had
I remember him. Yeah,
he had a crazy record. It was like when I boxed him, he'd had 50 fights, won 25, lost 25. I think Tommy Conroy put him in the home corner on a dinner show where them days where the promoter sold the tickets and had his corporate, you know what I mean, bought tables and businesses bought tables, and he didn't have to sell tickets back then. So we put him on, and I just went down there 24 hours notice and upset the apple cart. You know what I mean? It's very rare you hear that nowadays, but that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, there weren't really training camps back then. You just ticked over, you kept yourself right. And even as an home kid, if the phone call went, you got to be prepared and ready because you had to take your opportunity. But you can't get that nowadays.
And also, before we move on after this, I just want to say a lot of these fighters now also have sponsors that pay them a wage.
Yeah, oh yeah, unbelievable.
That's which, you know, which makes them even more reason to stay unbeaten. Because, you know, in boxing, once you start losing, interest does wane. You've seen that with fighters. You know, we go back to Manchester story of the 90s with Ricky Hatton. A lot of that, when people like Farnell, Will Johnner know this, and Gomez got beat, they went over to Ricky Hatton. You know, support does wane. You know, and the sponsors will go once you get beaten. I think some fighters think of that. Anyway, look, we'll go on to our final round now. Round 6. You know, no, it's boring. The hold up in the heavyweight division. You know what? I'm just sick of hearing from Usyk, Fury, White, Joshua, their promoters about, you know, blaming everyone for this not happening. No one out there in that division is giving a monkey about the fans who want to see action. Nobody. It's all about it's his fault because he wanted this percentage. He wanted that. No one is showing any love for the sport. I love the sport of boxing, even though it drives me mad. I love it. And I just think these people, you're doing nothing for the sport at all. It's always about, and then they talk about I'm doing this for the fans. I'm sick of Brand Fury, Brand Usyk, Brand everything. I mean, there's more action on the fucking national railways on a strike day than the elite heavyweights at the moment. And I'm just sick to death of it all, the blame game that's going on. And it's doing the sport no good. Say what you want about, you know, how boring the Klitschko era was. Bang, they were fighting. He was fighting mandatories, fighting whoever he had to fight. Lennox Lewis, they was all staying busy in the 90s. This mob, they're earning. It goes back to what you say earlier, John, about the money that's being earned in boxing these days. You know, they don't have to fight. Just really pisses me off, the heavyweight division at the moment. Just lost tone. And I couldn't give a monkey who wins or when and Fury Usyk fight the way I feel about it right now, that division.
Yeah, it's gone. It was the most exciting division in boxing a while ago, wasn't it? You had big personalities, different styles. We were all fighting each other. The heavyweight fights we had were great, all of them. We all had something exciting about them, and they've just killed it. And I just wonder if it's these Saudi Arabians throwing these figures about has just killed it completely. The guys know they can fight once a year, once every 18 months, but think they can earn 40, 50, 60 million quid, and then they don't have to fight for 18 months again. It's just money's killed it. And yeah, I don't know how it's going to come around again.
Yeah, I've got no interest in the heavyweight division at all. When my mates start talking to me about it, I'm just not interested. I said I'm not really interested in the heavyweight division because it's not what it was. I mean, look at the days with Mike Tyson and Vander Holyfield and Riddick Bowen. That was a proper heavyweight division, proper fighters. They all fought each other. They all risked everything. Now you just don't get that. It's just getting a joke and just getting a laughing stock. I mean, Tyson Fury's always got an excuse not to fight somebody. I mean, these fights must be easier to make than they're making out. I mean, like that 70-30 split. I mean, when you look at it now, Tyson Fury obviously didn't think Usyk would take it. He took it. And then what was the next excuse? Was it a rematch clause or something? I mean, just get on with these fights. People want to see them. People want to see these big fights. We don't want to see you keep going over old ground and, you know what I mean, boxing people we know you can beat. Let's go in there and try and unify the heavyweight division like they did back in the day.
Well, what's Fury going to do? You know, he's the man with all the titles. Joshua's going to fight White, and then they're talking about Wilder in another 5 or 6 months' time, which is a joke.
I don't know what.
So Joshua's tied up till next summer, the way it's going. Usyk's got his mandatories with Dubois. Fury's. Do you know what? Fury had all the goodwill in the world, didn't he? When he came off that Wilder fight, the third Wilder fight, he was the man in boxing, and he's just pissed it away again.
Yeah. It's amazing how the last 6 months you've seen. You know, I'm not saying he's universally unpopular, but from being the most loved boxer there is, you can see the tides turning against Fury with each day he doesn't fight. You know, and you can say the governing bodies could do more about it and force fights upon them. But they know they're on such money. If a fight suddenly goes to Saudi Arabia, they're happy to let them get away with it.
Yeah. They're not going to strip it. But Fury's never getting stripped, is he?
Of course he's not. He's not.
It's just becoming boring, isn't it? It's just becoming boring.
That's it.
Just fight each other. What's the problem? Just get the fights on. We want to see. You know what I mean? Fury against Usyk and Fury against Joshua. They're the fights we want to see. Not going in with some cruiserweight again that's been scouting around. That he's going to be fighting some cruiserweight champion of the world. Even forget his name. Never heard of him. You know what I mean? We're not interested. Let's get on with these big fights. Let's see him with the big names, Usyk and Joshua. That's what we want to see him with.
Brilliant. Well, anything else you want to add, John? Are you finished your save for the week?
No, covered it all, haven't we? Covered it. Yeah. Give us your highlight of Las Vegas, Steve, before you go.
Watching a band called L7. They were absolutely sensational.
Yeah.
They're a band where Nirvana got everything from. They're 4 women. They now must be nearer 70 than 60, and they're still rocking it. L7, what a band. What a band. You want to go to the other end of the spectrum, listen to Surfboard. They're a chic-looking band. They were the face of Gucci in 2018, and they have that look, that pretend druggy look. They're sensational, but I come home absolutely whacked. I haven't recovered. My back's in bits.
What I want to know, Steve, did you go to a pool party in your budgie smugglers?
Yes, I went to. No, I didn't wear budgie smugglers. I used to go to a pool party in the morning. I then go to the show in the afternoon, and then go to a nightclub till 3 o'clock. I'm absolutely ruined. I tell you what, I'm up at 6:30 every morning, right? And this morning, I woke up about 2 minutes before the first phone call came at 5 to 8 when it was Lee Hogan on the phone to me. How edits this up for us? That was that.
He does knack you, mate, doesn't it?
So I'm going to go. I'm determined to get up early in the morning and go training.
Just before you go, how does this trip to Vegas, Steve, compared to the trips to Las Vegas you used to do when you were in your prime?
You know what? It's a good question because I'm not in my prime. I don't drink anymore. And this was absolutely fantastic because it was punk rock music, which apart from boxing's been my profession for 30 years, but punk rock music's been a big part of my life since 1977. So to see all these great bands who don't tour Britain and all that was something else to me, mate. It was up there. For me at my age, to be up from 10:30 in the morning till 2 in the morning, just the bands walking around in 100-degree heat took some doing. I'm absolutely white. And then I get home when within hours of getting home, this fella's on the phone to me shouting at who's he done? Has he done his bloods? Has he done this? I think he might have called me out there. No, few people did, not many.
Good stuff.
But it was great, thanks, John. It was really, really good. I don't think I'll do punk rock bowling again because of the state it's left me in. I'm in bits. My back is just in bits. And I train every day. I'm not even out of train since I got back. I'm in a bad way. Anyway, fellas, thanks very much for joining us, John. And thanks for most of all for caring about my welfare tonight and my punk rock festival. But yeah, I'm past it for these long festivals. Carl, thanks very much for joining us. And I guess I'll speak to you in about 10, 12 hours time moaning about boxing. Thanks a lot. And thanks everyone for listening. Thank you.
Nice one, John.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.